What's the easiest choice you can make? Window instead of middle seat? Picking a vendor who sends a great gift basket? Outsourcing business tasks you hate? What about selling with Shopify? Whether you're selling a little or a lot, Shopify helps you do your thing, however you cha-ching. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage to the first real-life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit a million orders stage. Shopify's there to help you grow. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell. Wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/try. Go to shopify.com/try now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/try.
Denim is in demand at Plato's Closet in West Ashley and North Charleston. Get cash on the spot for everything denim. Bring in your trendy and classic styles of gently used name brand denim. Get paid for your denim shorts, skirts, jackets, jeans, and more. We're looking for denim that is blue, black, or a bold color, and jeans in styles like mom jeans, bootcut, baggy, flared, and ripped. We want everything denim. Sell your denim for cash at Plato's Closet today. Plato's Closet, located in West Ashley on Sam Rittenberg Boulevard and North Charleston on Rivers Avenue.
Hashtag no music, no intro. Another episode, off-season 2023, off-season episode of the hashtag Thanks for the Podcast. We're coming at you full steam ahead. Honestly, had I not thought of this podcast topic, I literally had no idea what the fuck we're going to be talking about tonight. Just no clue. No clue. It is absolutely fucking.
It's the off season.
Bro, it is dead. Which, to be fair, it is kind of nice, right?
Yeah.
Like,
you
know, so I've been grinding, just working. Obviously, you and I still are putting out content. We're still recording episodes on a weekly basis. But it has been kind of nice to kind of get that little reprieve. But I know that once kind of training camp kind of kicks in, and I know that, you know, once I'm back from my vacation next month in Hawaii, it's full steam ahead at that point, bro. It is no stopping.
It's gonna be a race to the off season. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it is. Yeah, I get back on the 25th of July, bro, and that's like, and probably like a week or so after that, it's like the first preseason game or some shit like that, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So we know that this downtime is going to quickly go away. June is literally days from being over. July is right around the corner. But we wanted to record something this week so you guys had anything or had something to listen to. And I'll be honest, if you read the title of this podcast, there are probably people who will not listen to it and will not play it. Will just be like, you know what?
I don't need that in my life. I don't need that in my life right now.
You know what? I get it. And had it not been the trip that Ryan just got back from, and this kind of goes into the topic, I probably wouldn't have even came up with this topic to talk about. But before we talk about the topic, there are a couple of things I kind of wanted to mention very quickly. So we're recording this Wednesday night, the 28th. So likely it's going to be posted in the morning, Thursday, the 29th. So at some point on the 29th, I don't know when, there will be pictures posted to both our Instagram account as well as our Twitter account of a project that I sought out someone to do. Finally got the product today. Came out amazingly. To be fair, don't even know what I'm going to do with them. Don't know if they're just going to be something that just kind of just is at the house and like whatever, or, you know, something I might use a couple of times throughout the year, but they're so nice. I feel like I don't want to use them too much, but very excited for the finished product. I'm also going to be heavily promoting the person that did it, promoting their business, so people who are listeners of our podcast can reach out to them if you want any specific type of work done. And I'm going to, be linking their Instagram page, everything. But it was something that kind of came to me. I came in contact with this person through chance. We were out going through touring acting studios for acting classes for my daughter, and this woman happened to show us some of her work just off chance and handed me a business card, and I saw her Instagram page and saw the work that she did, and the gears in my head started turning a little bit, and I was like, okay, I think we can make something here. So but you guys will see it tomorrow after the podcast episode is posted. Also wanted to kind of hit on, as July is becoming closer, our hashtag Same Sort of Podcast West Coast Brunch is taking place on the 30th of July. So if you didn't RSVP, it's it. Nope, can't do it anymore. No, it's closed. So that's very exciting, with multiple people going to show up for that. Very, very excited. That's going to be on the beach in Malibu. But I wanted you had vacation with your wife, Bree, celebrating her birthday and her best friend's birthday. You guys were in Vegas, but one of the days you guys drove out here to LA, and you got to see the Pacific Ocean for the first time. Talk to me about it.
It was just beautiful, bro, because you got to think about it. I landed in Las Vegas like at midnight, and we checked in and literally woke up that morning at 6 a.m. to go get to rent a car. Got dressed, boom, headed out to LA. About, Google says 4.5 hours, but it was about 6 hours with the traffic and everything. Long ride, bro. Beautiful ride. I wasn't even tripping on the ride because just the scenery, bro. Like just me, like haven't really left the Gulf South. I'm so tired of seeing like the same interstates and trees. And I'm just so tired of it, bro. I've seen it to death, like the flat landscape. So driving through the Death Valley, driving through the Mojave Desert, driving into California with all the hills and mountains, and just it's California, man. You know what I'm saying? Like this is Cali.
It is,
you
man.
know what I'm saying? And then we pull up and we hit Santa Monica Pier. Everybody's seen Santa Monica Boardwalk on all kind of movies and TV shows over the years.
Iconic.
It's iconic, man. You pull up and it's just, I couldn't stop looking like, man, I've seen this so many times in my life, and I'm actually here. And it was packed.
As always.
It looks like Cali. You know what I'm saying? Just your skateboarder bros and, a couple homeless people laying out on the fucking beach. You know what I'm saying? And you got just all your people, your visitors from all over. You got the hot girls. You got everything, hot dudes, everybody out there, man. It was just beautiful. Walking on that big, long-ass beach. Wide-ass beach. God damn, it take forever to get to, like, the water.
Yes.
It was fucking forever, bro. I'm like, God damn. I'm too old for this shit. And the weather was perfect. It was like 70 degrees and breezy. Man.
Well, to be fair, the weather was cooler last week, but also you keep in mind that it's always cooler closer to the beach. So
right.
Like I'm in the valley. So the valley typically runs like, I would say, anywhere from like 8 to 10 degrees hotter than Malibu, Santa Monica, just because like we were like in the fucking
that's what I figured.
Just beautiful, bro.
Oh man, like it was just beautiful, bro. Like I just was standing out there. I walked, did my feet in the water, and just like was just standing there looking out, just for probably 15 minutes, man. Just like
serene,
Bree just called like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Man, I'm just looking, man, just
taking it in,
just taking it in." You know what I'm saying? And we just did a 1-day trip, So when I did it, I was like, okay, I'm gonna be back for sure. I can't do just 1 day. I'm gonna be back in LA for sure. Maybe for the Rams game this year. We'll see. But it was beautiful. I immediately thought, like I said in the Discord, like I see why, some of the people that live here be like they'll never leave, regardless of like cost of living and all the other stuff that come with California, earthquakes, this, that, and other. They'll never leave. You know what I'm saying? And like just seeing that is like, okay, I get it. I get it. Like I understand.
It's so like LA is such a, and I've been here, like 15 plus years. Cause I came out here when I forget. I don't remember if I was 19 or 20. I think I was 19 on a Greyhound, all my stuff, and came out here. Right. And obviously there's reasons why I'm here. Like my daughter's here, my family's here. But it's one of those, this is one of those places where once you're here and you kind of become accustomed to cost of living, gas price is going to be higher than anywhere else, and things just in general are higher. You go out to have a drink with your buddy or your coworker, you might be paying $16-17 for like a cocktail, like all that stuff. But then it's like, shit, like, why do I fucking put up with, like, I just fuck. And this comes from someone who was born and raised like in Lubbock, Texas, bro. Like, just like a podunk, not podunk, but like a small ass town in West Texas. But it's just like there's so many things that LA offers that you will just not be able to find anywhere fucking else. Like, I know people say like New York in terms of, but like, I'm sorry, bro, but like going to the Pacific and just being on the beach and just being on the water, it's just, man, it's amazing. It's an amazing thing. Amazing. I said it in the Discord, even as someone who's been here as long as I have, like I think most Southern California residents will tell you, like we 100% do not take advantage, and we take the beach and we take that ocean for granted because it's just there. Right?
It's just there. And that's like anybody that lives in a place like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like New Orleans. Like when people go out to eat, they like talk about these places. I'm like, man, I never eat there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'd never go there because it's just like, I don't know. It's just because I'm from there. I live there. It's just like I go to the places I know, you know, and it's just different for me. But yeah, man, it's like, it was a great experience, especially for me. I just because I haven't traveled as much as a lot of people, so like seeing this Pacific Ocean was just a big thing for me because it's just I marvel at it just like looking at like Google Earth and stuff. I just look at the Pacific like, damn, it's a big ass ocean, bro. Like, damn, and, you know, and just be on the edge of it to look at it, it's like, wow, like
just
China.
Just to give you, since you've seen it. Going to Hawaii from LA, you fly over that bitch for 6 hours. That's all there is, bro.
I don't know if I could do it, bro. I don't know. I would love to go to Hawaii, but I don't know if I could do it, man.
It doesn't. I mean, here's the thing, bro. If you in a plane crash, like more likely you're gonna be fucked either way, right?
Oh
like,
yeah, it's not the crash part. It's just sitting in a spot. Just oh my god. Just 3 hours, like 3 hours just drives me crazy. So 6, oh my God. But I do it. I do it for Hawaii. I do it.
Oh, man, I'll say this, and we can move on from vacation time. As beautiful as going to, you know, Santa Monica Pier, seeing the ocean, all that is.
Oh man,
Hawaii is like that times like 50, bro. I can
already imagine. I
cannot describe it. Like literal paradise. There, I've gone a couple of places for vacation, and by far, Hawaii is like, if I just had any place I could go on vacation and not think about it, let me go to Hawaii. Just let me go to Hawaii.
I mean, you're not listening to the people that say tourists shouldn't go to Hawaii.
Who's saying that, Ryan? Is there a source?
What's the source?
Do you and you and I have kept calling people out on Twitter about this, bro. And we're just like, everyone likes to say that, like, oh, you know, our native Hawaiians, you know, they're people, they don't like tourists to come over here. Who is saying that? Mitch, my dude. Mitch, London, my dude. Is that a thing? Like, the last time we were in Hawaii last year in July, we were taking a tour, and literally the tour guide, who is a native Hawaiian, said our state, and you know, and we were on Oahu, Waikiki, our way of life is dependent on tourism. Dependent on it. We want as many people to come here as much and as often as they can, because anyway, you're gonna get me started on the whole. I don't understand the whole. I understand it, but like everyone says it, but they can't even show like an actual article that's source of an actual Native Hawaiian person saying that. Like it doesn't exist,
Twitter.
bro. I've looked.
It's Twitter. It's just Twitter.
Sorry. Anyway, someone's listening to this podcast and they literally have like an article that says like a Native Hawaiian on Oahu or in Maui or like just opposed to people coming to visit Hawaii. Please mention us. You can DM me the link. You can DM it to the podcast account. I don't care, but you know what I'm going to go by? I'm going to go by what a Native Hawaiian person told me when I was visiting with my family last year, bro. He said, please come. Because I asked it, bro. Like, I asked it. Like, where is this coming from? And you see, bro, everyone tweets about it. Oh, I can't believe you're going. Just can't believe you're going to Hawaii. Like, haven't you heard?
I found the article. I actually found the article. And the article was just posts of the tweets of people saying you shouldn't go to Hawaii. I'm like, come on, man. This ain't shit.
Anyway, sorry we had to take you down vacation time, but without your vacation that you and Bree went on last week, I wouldn't have came up with this podcast topic is, as great as your vacation was, you had a great time, et cetera, was in Vegas. You was living it up like you were in your 20s, just wilding out. When there were some bumps and some hiccups,
of course,
at the end of the vacation that was almost made the end of your vacation a fucking disaster, right?
Almost.
Miss flights. Well, I'm not gonna get into it. I don't want to re-trigger you, but it led me to think, and I know this is hope season. I know it's the off season and training camp's around the corner. You know, we thinking of Derek Carr and all the weapons he got, and you know, the defense, the DA's shown he can, have a good defense, blah, blah, blah. We just like, oh, this team should win the NFC South, maybe be like a 3 or 4 seed in the NFC, like make some noise. Sometimes things don't go how you envision them, right? I'm sure you didn't envision the end of your vacation in Vegas with Bree going the way that it did, right? You had a different vision of how it was supposed to end.
Mm-hmm.
So it led me to think, what are some things that could go wrong for the Saints this upcoming season and completely derail their season? I want us to kind of stay away from such and such gets injured, right? Because that's an obvious ones. But I will say, like, this is an example, and it kind of ties into injury just a bit, but the unknown health of Trevor Penning / him not developing to be a decent starting left tackle is an example of something that could derail the Saints season. Now, Derail may be strong because they have James Hurst and blah blah. So maybe not. Maybe Derail is strong for Penning. But I just wanted to put that out as an example of things that we're talking about. And then, so I'm going to kind of keep track of all the ones that we name or that we list. And then at the end of it, I want us to each have a number. We're going to each have a number of how many of those things, if it were to occur, that the team would not be able to overcome and would lead to them having a non-good season. Because maybe it's like 1 or 2, but whatever. The rest of the team can still do well, blah, blah, blah. But maybe at some point there's like just a number where it's like, okay, this is too much. This is too much. Okay. So we've
seen those numbers the past 2 years. Like,
we have, bro.
We have.
So that was kind of my first one, was the Trevor Penning / not panning. I won't say not panning out because it's the second year, so that's really unfair. Yeah. But maybe not developing as quickly as the team would have hoped, or him having his lingering Liz Frank or foot injuries in terms of him being in and out of the lineup. So that's my first one I'm going with. What about you?
Just throw out the investment with him. Throw out the investment. Just, I guess, if he is him, like if he could play up to the level that they believe he can be, the gap between that and Hurst is so huge. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because like Hurst is fine. Like Hurst, if we got to go into the season starting Hurst at left tackle, it's not a dire situation. It's not great, but it's not a dire situation. But it's almost, it's like, how far can you go with that? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if Penning is him, if Penning can be the guy that we hope him to be, great at run blocking, solidify that left tackle spot, and just be an actual weapon. Like it's very, very, very rarely you get a weapon on the offensive line. He could be a weapon on the offensive line. Just like Teron Olmstead was when he was healthy. And if he could be that, man, it just elevates the team so much. It elevates the run game. It elevates the pass game. It just elevates so many things you could do. So it's more like an addition. Like if he is that guy, like not having him reach that pinnacle is kind of like a derailment because you kind of put a cap on how good you could be. But then again, on the flip side, is like, I mean, look, do you have to have like a stud left tackle to win a Super Bowl? No, you have to do that, but you have to have greatness in other areas. You know what I'm saying?
Correct. You do.
You have to work. You have to like a great quarterback. Like Drew Brees was, outstanding at making the O-line better than it was. You know what I'm saying? We had Bushrod. We won a Super Bowl with Jeremiah Bushrod at left tackle.
Bro.
That was his first year starting too.
Wow.
So everything. Yeah, everything goes in play when it comes to stuff like that. But Penning is like really the offensive line, bro. Like that is what I'm looking at. It's like,
okay, I think that's a good one. That's a good number 2.
How would this offensive line come together? Because right now it's not healthy. It's like the one thing I'm looking at this offseason, going into training camp, is something that we won't really know the answer to until probably week 1. It's just so key to the whole equation. I don't know, man. Like it's a big if. It's like a big if question mark. Eric McCoy is the only healthy starter on offensive line. We haven't had the offensive line as it should be for like 2 years now, man. Like it's been just a merry-go-round or musical chairs or whatever you want to call it for the past 2 years. So we don't even know what it can be when it is fully healthy. We've had guys missing out. We had Cesar Ruiz going through his ups and downs. Ramczyk was dealing with his degenerative knee issue. Pete. Pete just going Pete.
Pete.
And look, and they draft Nick Salivari or whatever his last name is today, this year, and he already hurt. It's like
didn't wasn't able to practice a single time yet, bro.
Don't even know what he look like.
Now, DA said, he kind of fully expects everyone to be able to like start training camp and practice at training camp, except for maybe one player. So I would assume, but like it's still kind of like. But I agree. O-line is such a huge one, just overall, and it's one of those things where it would just be like Derek Carr's best season with the Raiders. He had good to like great O-lines, and he just John Gruden and Mike Mayock, for at least for a while they put together really strong offensive lines. Like big, just nasty interior. You got Richie Incognito. Oh, that's a great. That's such a John Gruden fucking signing, bro. Like 2 peas in a pod. But
they probably hung out together after work.
Bro, it. Just throwing racial epithets all over the place, bro. Anyway, that said, you saw the best version of Derek Carr when he had a good offensive line, if not at times really good offensive line with the Raiders, and the Raiders had success and were playoff teams and things like that. So that's what you're envisioning. And on paper, the talent the Saints have on the offensive line is not even close to what the Raiders have. But if that talent isn't healthy, like it becomes a moot point in terms of you got to be healthy, you got to play. So the offensive line is a huge key factor into what the season's how the season's going to go. I'm going to kind of stay away from AK suspension, Marcus May suspension, and stay away from that. I'm going to say another thing that could potentially derail their season. And it's going to sound weird to say, and I again, I know this episode is a little Debbie Downer-ish. And it's not saying that I think these things, but these are just things, right? But when Derek Carr got cut, released from the Raiders, what have you, if you listen to a good amount of personnel people in the league, that they felt that at this point in his career, Derek Carr was at most a high-end NFL backup quarterback, right? Just, he's kind of deteriorated over the years, blah, 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 blah.
The Andy Dalton trajectory.
Correct.
You look at Andy Dalton, he came in second round, top of the second round, just like Derek Carr, had a really solid, but not spectacular career with the Bengals. And then they just kind of moved on. You know what I'm saying? He didn't really just, it's not like he just, got like a major injury. It was just like, he was always kind of QB purgatory. He was like, and they finally got to the point where they could move on. They had a high pick to go get Joe Burrow, and they moved on. And, you can make the case it was kind of like that with Derek Carr.
So my thing is, what if those personnel people were right?
Exactly. I don't believe they're right.
I don't either, bro. I don't either.
The eye test doesn't tell me that. But it's possible. I mean, look at Russell Wilson last year.
Mm-hmm.
About the same age. I don't know. It's possible. Like, to say it's not possible, you're pipe dreaming. If you say, well, that's impossible. It's possible.
I don't see it. Again, I watched enough of his tape last year, and I had a discussion with a friend, and I was told, because I watched more of like early season last year Raiders, and was told that that I guess evaluation assessment of him was kind of made like how he looked kind of like midway through the season towards like the end of the season for all intents and purposes. I still, and again, maybe it's just because we've come off of Andy Dalton, Trevor Siemian, Jameis, a hurt Jameis, Taysom, bro. It's like, Derek Carr can't be that bad, bro. He can't be that bad. He can't be that bad.
Can't be. And it's like, I guess we're kind of arguing against our point right now, but still, it's like, what would it take for him to be that bad? You know what I'm saying? Like, what would it take for him to be that bad? We watched him in the dome. We were in the dome watching him against the Saints as the Saints pitched the shutout. Saints defense, which has kind of, been up and down at that point, pitched the shutout against his Raiders. Like, what was wrong with Derek Carr last year that if he repeated that same thing this year would cause it to be a derailment?
I would say
Denim is in demand at Plato's Closet in West Ashley and North Charleston. Get cash on the spot for everything denim. Bring in your trendy and classic styles of gently used name brand denim. Get paid for your denim shorts, skirts, jackets, jeans, and more. We're looking for denim that is blue, black, or a bold color, and jeans in styles like mom jeans, bootcut, baggy, flared, and ripped. We want everything denim. Sell your denim for cash at Plato's Closet today. Plato's Closet, located in West Ashley on Sam Rittenberg Boulevard and North Charleston on Rivers Avenue.
Being careless with the football.
Mm-hmm.
That like to me, like if he, like, for whatever reason, like whether it's like he's not seeing things, or if he's throwing, like if he's having games where there's like an interception and like a forced fumble and things like that, and he's like there's a lot of turnover of the ball, then I think at that point you have a concern.
Absolutely. And I don't like DA, just the type of coach he is. I don't know if he just has the patience for that. Just the way he wants to coach a game. Like he can't be a huge turnover guy. Like Derek, if anything, he can't be a big turnover guy. Even if he's not producing like crazy, like as far as yards and touchdowns and stuff, if he's putting a lot of turnovers on the board, man, it could get ugly, bro. It could get ugly. It can get very like as far as like from the media standpoint, it can get crazy. Because, he can get benched. You know what I'm saying? He can get benched because the way they want to play football, it's not like, back when we had Drew Brees, there were years Drew Brees might throw 18 interceptions, but he was also throwing like 38 touchdowns. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like, okay. But if it's one of those things where he's not giving you touchdowns and he's giving you turnovers,
that's what I'm saying.
Man, you got to get Jameis in there. You got to get – then Jameis, Jameis going Jameis too. So you talking about just one of those swirling where things just go downhill fast where you don't have a quarterback. And you paying one guy, $30+ million a year. So that would be like the ultimate derail. Like that would be a disaster.
That's the derailment for that's the derailment for the season and the derailment for the future, like the immediate future of the team.
Exactly. Like that's, top 5 pick, everybody get fired. Which look, some people kind of want that to happen. You know what I'm saying? So that would going through it will be crazy. Awful. Like it would be crazy, bro.
It would be crazy, but then I'm just gonna say this. It would be. I'm not wishing this. I'm not hoping this.
You already think about draft time next year.
They got like a top 3 pick, bro. Like top 3 pick, and you get to keep this roster, and you can overhaul the coaches.
Say to the podcast draft meetup coming back, baby.
Be at that bitch hard in April, bro. Shit, I be in Tennessee, bro. Taking a party in Tennessee. Meet in Nashville, we get a top 3 pick, bro. Anyway, sorry. Anyway, let's work this back. So right now we have Trevor Penning into like a bigger degree offensive line. I said if Derek Carr isn't the guy, and that just isn't a this season derailment. That's like future, like potential, like long term future success of the franchise derailment. What else you got for things that can derail this season?
One thing I got is, the defense, man. Like we talked all this offseason about, Willis defense, because it's been on an amazing run as far as consistency. It's been a top 10 defense since 2017. They always figure out, even if, the pressures aren't there, they figure out how to get sacks. The secondary has been good consistently for the most part. We saw some lumps early in the season last year, which I expected. And it got better down the stretch toward the latter half of the year. But look, they lost a lot of pieces this offseason. They got a lot of young guys coming in. They're trying to fill a lot of new faces, free agents and somewhat. What if the defense, I know people don't want to see it because they're so used to amazingly having a good defense for so many years now. But what if it's not that good? If the defense not that good?
We got spoiled. Ryan,
what if Tyrann? We got spoiled. We on defense of all places.
Of all things, bro.
We got spoiled on defense. What if Tyrann Mathieu, the lumps he showed last year, shows up even worse this year, and he's just old. He's just an old player, old safety. What if Marcus Major's not good? What if Cam Jordan finally hits that wall? What if Breesy is not just is just a rookie and doesn't produce? What if Isaiah Flockley is just a second round pick and, needs time to develop. Peyton Turner is Peyton Turner and does nothing. What if, I'm not preaching injury, but, you got Demario Davis and Pete Werner and not much else. Things get a little dicey. I ain't saying it'll be a terrible defense, but there is a path to being not a good defense. There's a path.
There is.
I don't think that will happen. I don't think it will happen, but there is a path to it.
I think they at worst they'll be an average defense. Even with all those things you said, I think they would be an average defense. But this is an episode where we're not talking about like at best. But there's some things. There's a combination of things where this defense can look very old very fast, and I think last year was like the first season where we saw like shit, like the defense can look kind of old, bro. Like DeMario had a good season, but he didn't have a great season. We saw some. Sorry, Di, I was about to say chinks in the armor again, but I realized that I'm working on it, bro. It just sorry. Some deficiencies in his play, had some missed tackles and things like that. That was just very unlike DeMario that we've seen in the past. The pass rush was even like we saw it, bro. We watched the games. The pass rush was lackluster, except some games here and there where Cam Jordan went nuclear and kind of turned back the hands of time. Secondary, we saw we were complaining about Honey Badger for like 5-6 weeks straight, bro. Just annoyed as fuck with him, bro. Just effort and just lack of effort, all that. That to say, like I said, I think at best they would be an average defense, but also you got Joe Woods, bro, and I know it's DA's defense, and Joe Woods is probably more of like just a yes man, but like Joe Woods coached a terrible fucking defense for the Browns last year, and you had Myles Garrett,
man.
Myles Garrett, and you had blanking on the cornerback from Ohio State that they drafted. It is not coming to me. I know they have Greg Newsome, and that was your dude. I can't think of who their one corner. I gotta look it up. This is how out of football thinking I have been. This is.
Don't they got Greedy?
Yeah, they have Greedy because he injured himself. Sorry, this is like absolutely terrible podcasting, like the worst thing you can do. But now it's going to drive me crazy, so I got to find it. He just got paid. I want to say,
yeah, but Joe Woods has coached some good defense too, though, man. He's at Denver when they had a good defense. Joe Woods.
Denzel Ward. It wasn't coming to me. It was not coming to me.
Yeah, Joe Woods has some good defenses though, man. So it's kind of a mixed bag. I guess he kind of goes with the talent. You know what I'm saying? Like he was with the 49ers as a defensive back coach, 2019. Defensive coordinator, 2017 to 2018 for the Broncos. Defensive back coach their Super Bowl year, which they had a really good secondary. I think he's kind of, I don't know if he's the type of coach that lifts the talent rather than the talent kind of lifts him. So I think you're kind of dependent on, the talent with the Saints in the secondary to kind of solidify him. You know what I'm saying? And then you look at the D-line coach. What's my boy? Came from college. Blanking on his name. They almost hired him as a DC a couple years ago. What's the Saints D-line coach? Man, it's terrible podcasting.
Terrible podcast.
Defensive line. It is Ty Grantham.
Ty Grantham. Okay.
Yeah. So he's coaching the defensive line. I mean, I waxed poetic about Ryan Nielsen for years, so like, for me to just say like, oh, everything's gonna go just fine is like that'll be, hypocritical for me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Ryan Nielsen had to mean something. Maybe Ty Grantham is better. Maybe he's worse. I don't know. We'll see. But the thing is, he has a job to do, especially this season, because he has, young players, young rookies coming in on the D line. He has new faces coming in from different teams.
Yep.
He has his work cut out for it, man. They have to produce.
They have to. They have to produce like ASAP. So defense being not good is a huge thing that can derail this team. I don't know if this would derail it per se, but I'm going to throw this one out here. What if the old AK never comes back?
Yeah, I thought about that. Like you said, I don't know if that'll derail the season, because I think they kind of went to this year kind of preparing for that, And I think a lot of the national media feels that way, that he's reached past his peak, and I think he's past his peak, but I still feel like he got one more in him, at least one more. Like, I just need to see. I mean, you can't deny that he's been used different in the last 2 years. You just can't deny it.
I mean, I think the word you mean is incorrectly.
Used incorrectly, yeah. Because you can watch the game and just see it. Like, we saw it every week watching these games. Now, that doesn't mean some things have changed. Like, I just remember games last year. I was like, man, that's a tackle he would have broke. Like, years ago, like, he would break some of these ankle tackles and stuff like that, but he's just not anymore. I don't know why. But I just feel like, man, if you get that dude in space, you throw him a couple passes and put him in routes. I'm not just talking about check downs. Like, people talk about check downs and passes thrown to a running back. It's not just passes thrown to a running back, but it's the type of passes. It's the concepts that he's used in the offense. I need to see that.
Need it, man. I need it. It was criminal that David Johnson ran more passing routes last season than AK.
That's a gross stat. That's a fireable statistic right there. Like,
fireable, Ryan.
I saw that and I'm just firing somebody. Pete, somebody, fire. Whoever I see first, fire.
Oh, I was like, damn, dude. Shit, I was like, shit. Am I on a podcast with Donald Trump? I was about to fucking kick your ass off this bitch, bro. Like,
that's probably how the little analytics dude got fired. He was like, what? I'm just coming out of my
office. Speaking of that, and this is to your point, I do agree with you that I don't believe that the AK thing in itself, if the old AK is gone, I don't think that derails the season. But I will ask you this: if Pete Carmichael maintain, like, basically does not improve from last season, so he's not better, he's not worse, he's the exact same, does that derail the season?
Yes. That could be what causes DA his job. Of all things, that could be what costs his job, is thinking Pete Carmichael could be the one to run this offense. And I'm not saying he is or he ain't. Maybe Pete just got so used to coaching. He coached his entire career with Drew Brees. His entire career, even going back to the Chargers as an offensive assistant.
That is wild, bro.
So he has no concept of, like, playing games that mean something with the rookie quarterback or with the young, developmental quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So I just think his coaching ability is reliant on a veteran quarterback that understands the game. And luckily, they got Derek Carr, and I think Derek Carr will provide that. But, what if Derek Carr not enough? You know what I'm saying? What if Derek Carr needs a little more coaching and a little harder coaching like he got from Gruden, to help these things? You know what I'm saying? Wouldn't it be funny, bro? They get rid of Pete Brady and Gruden as OC, bro.
Don't do it, bro. Unless you're talking about Jay Gruden, bro. I don't need.
John, motherfucking.
No, don't need it in my life, Ryan.
Michelin Lip John, motherfucker.
Can I just say, like, I don't know who the Saints are trying to fool, and I know it's probably all good intention. Of like, oh, we're building in this house because it's like Happy Pride Month, and like we care about like get the fuck out my face with that woke fucking shit. Like you gonna do this 3 weeks after you had John Gruden in the building, and he's already stop it.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. They bring it John Gruden, that OC, man. They be cooking.
Stop it, Ryan. Don't do it. Don't do it, Ryan. Don't do it.
It's gonna be cooking, boy.
I will say, let's go back to this earlier this offseason when they were trying to get a new OC, trying to move on from Pete, or maybe Pete had also was like, see, I told y'all niggas I didn't want to fucking be OC. I tried to step down. You guys didn't let me. Why didn't they, after they reached out to 3 different former OCs, and this is you're only going to get this information from this podcast that literally is not out there anywhere else that I believe. At that point, if you saw what Pete Carmichael did last season, and you knew he didn't want the job before you gave it to him last season, you saw the results of last season with him as offensive coordinator, and I know that probably there was, the blame was kind of put on the quarterback situation and the injuries and blah blah blah, and Pete Carmichael probably tried to get some, it wasn't all his fault, but it was at least his fault enough that y'all were wanting to have another OC replace him. Why not just go to Ronald Curry at that point if all the other former NFL OCs said no?
I would love to see it. I would love to see it, man. I'm sure Ronald Curry has the same thing. Like, you like, damn, bro, like I couldn't get a shot. You know what I'm saying? Like, get a shot. Last 2 games of the season or something,
Shot. So I think okay. So so we're gonna wind this down. We don't want this episode to go too long. So we got kind of a combination of Penny not progressing, but / overall offensive line not playing well, not gelling. We have we have the defense potentially taking a step back. What if Derek Carr and the demise, quote unquote, or deterioration of Derek Carr is legitimate? Also throughout there, if Pete Carmichael just remains just how he is from last season as something that could also derail the season. So we got basically like 4.5. Anything else you want to throw out there before I ask you how many of those can they overcome and still potentially be a successful team?
I will throw out if Michael Thomas is again just not a factor. Like not a factor. Just IR, whatever. I don't know if it derails the season, but man, it hurts. You know what I'm saying? Because even though they got a lot of depth at wide receiver, man, like just the gap between what they can be with Michael Thomas versus what they would be with some of the other players that could probably fill in at that role is just so huge. Which I guess isn't really good because you don't want to have to depend on Michael Thomas going into the season.
Right.
But just the fact that he's there makes you kind of depend on him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yes.
So it's just like it's just one of those things where you hope, not that Michael Thomas becomes what he was, back in 2019, but at least be 80% of that, 75% of that. That'd be great. But if you get nothing and he's costing you, money towards the cap, man, it hurts. Well, you could have got, maybe could have went and got Nuke Hopkins. Maybe you could have made a harder push for Renfro, something like that. That would kind of hurt.
It would. So how many? Okay, so let's say those are the 5. How how many of those? I want to ask you the number, and I'm asking you how many of those could they endure without the season being derailed, and then which ones? Like which ones to you are just like if this one thing happens, like there's no chance.
I think the ones they can survive. I think they can survive Penning not being him.
I agree.
I think they can survive that. And I also think they can survive. I think they can survive Alvin Kamara not being, the great Alvin Kamara that we used to. But with a caveat that everything else works out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if Alvin Kamara not what he used to, but Mike Thomas back, Chris Olave take that next step, he balling out, Jamal Williams balling out. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything else works out, and it's like, okay, yeah. So there's kind of a caveat to that. The ones that they can't work through, I think if Pete Carmichael, bro, if he can't elevate even with Derek Carr,
I agree.
Like, I don't think there's nothing they could do about that, bro. Like that there would be the end. And, like we're talking about with Carr, if Carr is literally taking that backslide and just moving into that high level backup area, it's just purgatory then, bro. It's like,
it is
back doing what Dalton did. Like it's maybe you win 7-8 games, just not exciting. You just running in slow motion.
It's it's funny because we're kind of in lockstep. I don't think they can take Pete being how he was last season. I think AK being not okay, old AK is manageable. Penning manageable. I don't think the O-line is manageable. I will say that.
Too. Yeah.
I don't think if there's like just different offensive line combinations every week and whatever and health, and I don't think they can overcome that. But
because that plays into everything else. Like if the offensive line bad, then you questioning AK because he's not getting his production, and you questioning Derek Carr because he's probably throwing picks. So it just makes everything look bad. Even if it's just the offensive line, it'll make everything else look bad, but you don't even know what the source is.
Right. You can't say, is it AK? Is it? You can't determine what the root issue is.
Why is it Jamal Williams getting touchdowns? Everything will be bad. You know what I'm
saying? But again, I don't want to go too deep into this because it is hope season, but
Saints listening to this bitch like, damn, bro.
Damn. It would be the just absolute just most Saint shit ever if like the shit that we brought up is like at least 2 or 3 of those things like actually take place this season and it derails them. We're just like, whoops, our bad. But I don't really believe in that shit. If it was going to happen, it was going to happen. It didn't matter if we talked about it or not. That's pretty much it. We wanted to keep this one short-ish. Do we keep it short-ish? Shortish for our standards. Getting back to what I was talking about at the beginning, when I for the product that I'm going to post on social media tomorrow, we do plan on having a raffle for not the ones that we're posting tomorrow, but there'll be a different version of it, as best I can kind of say, with keep it without revealing what it is, that we want to raffle either not next month, in the month of August or early September, right before the start of the season. To be eligible for the raffle, you at least have to be a Patreon. Now, being a Patreon in and of itself, just because you're a Patreon doesn't mean that you're in the raffle. You're going to have to do other things to be a part of the raffle, but at least you have to be a Patreon to be eligible for the raffle. Once you see these things posted tomorrow, you will say, okay, maybe I want those. Maybe not, but maybe you will. I know we're excited about them. I'm excited to show them to our listeners, show them to our community, pump up and give praise to the person that did them. Very excited about it. So be on the lookout for that tomorrow. Once you see it on Twitter or Instagram, like it, retweet it, post it to your stories, do all that. That's what we're really looking for. We really appreciate it. I'm also going to put it on TikTok, maybe make a little TikTok video of it. Even though me making TikTok videos make me feel fucking old as hell. But June is winding down next week is the first week of July. We want to hear, I'm sure we can come up with topics, but if you're in the Discord, or if you're not even in the Discord, if you're just on Twitter, if you're not a Patreon, if you just give us some topics, hit up our Twitter account, our email, and just throw out some topics of things you potentially want us to talk about for an episode. Also, we have something big that we are unveiling. We have a lot of things going on for the podcast, guys. Or y'all, not just guys. Lots of things. So we have what we're posting on social media tomorrow, but we have an even bigger thing that we're very excited about. I think we're going to try to maybe launch it next week. We just got to work out the kinks and all that, but we'll work on that. So please be on the lookout for that. We will be tweeting about it, and it will be on social media all over the place. So make sure when it is up and running, you go check it out. With that, though, we just want to give thanks to all our Patreons, everyone who supports us. We finally did reach the threshold of 200 plus Patreons. I believe as of right now, we're at 204 Patreons. That was such a huge goal for Ryan and I, and
huge.
We hit it, and we just kind of see this as like the first step, right? We got 200. Now we want to get to 300. So thank y'all so much for all the support. I could go on forever. Like a big shout out to our dude Miguel, who was our first Patreon ever.
Yes.
Has the absolutely most funniest fucking fall video you will ever see in your fucking life.
Fall video, you got the snake on the porch video.
Just the Miguel rain videos of his front porch has just become things of just epic, just every time, bro. But big shout out to our dude Miguel, our first Patreon. Shout out to just everyone who has supported us along the way. I don't want to start naming off everyone because I feel we'd miss someone, leave someone out, and I don't want to do that. But the fact that in 3+ years that we've been able to get to 200 Patreons, and as the season approaches, we want to, like, I feel like by the end of this upcoming season, and obviously some of it's going to depend on how the Saints do, because that's just how the business is. If the Saints do well, people listen to us more, we get more Patrons, etc. If they don't do well, no one wants to fucking listen to us. But if they have a decent season, I am hoping we can get to be at close to 250-ish Patreons, if not more. That's my goal. Now, in the perfect world, I want to get to 300 by the end of the season, but them niggas got to win like the Super Bowl for that to happen. So not impossible, but maybe a little improbable. But we can do it. So thank y'all for all the support. We are trying to continually do things for our community, people who support us. And if you don't support us, obviously you still have podcast episodes to listen to. So even if you aren't a Patreon, a like, a retweet, putting on your story, whatever it is, helps out more than you ever know. Because all it takes is someone seeing us and following us and listening to an episode and what have you. And so that's all we're trying to do, is just build this thing and to be a bigger and better community that we're so thankful to have and to have cultivated. Thank y'all from the bottom of our hearts. We really appreciate it. We will be back next week. Give us some topics. Hit us up on Instagram. Hit us up on Twitter. DM mentions. Give us some topics, things you want us to potentially talk about. Don't have to be Saints related. Don't have to be football related. Just give some topics. But if it is Saints related, football related, that's cool too. We'll be back next week. We appreciate it. We appreciate y'all. Thank y'all. With that, we're out.
Peace.
denim is in demand at Plato's Closet in West Ashley and North Charleston. Get cash on the spot for everything denim. Bring in your trendy and classic styles of gently used name brand denim. Get paid for your denim shorts, skirts, jackets, jeans, and more. We're looking for denim that is blue, black, or a bold color, and jeans in styles like mom jeans, bootcut, baggy, flared, and ripped. We want everything denim. Sell your denim for cash at Plato's Closet today. Plato's Closet, located in West Ashley on Sam Rittenberg Boulevard and North Charleston on Rivers Avenue.